In a typical ecosystem, plants absorb sunlight and convert it into sugars for nutrients. That sugar is also consumed by the most common terrestrial animals in the ecosystem, the plant eaters. Who in turn are consumed by the meat eaters, but when they die, their carcasses are recycled into the soil to help grow the very plants and fungi eaten by the plant eaters. However, plants have evolved various defenses to combat being eaten by the plant eaters. Many produce alkaloids and tannins that are very deadly if too much is ingested, but the herbivores combat this by consuming various soils and clays that absorb the toxins, allowing them to feed with impunity. Others evolve thorns and spines to avoid overgrazing, but many herbivores have tough enough stomachs to digest any thorns that are consumed, and tough leathery skin on their lips to bypass the defenses. And trees, of course, can grow tall enough to either avoid being browsed entirely, or only having the lower branches being consumed, leaving a distinctive browse line. Overall, though, the plants do have a positive relationship with the very animals that eat them. But plants can also restrict what animals can eat them and those that can't, apart from just growing tall and evolving defenses. Sauropods are primarily browsers, but can graze on lower growth vegetation if the trees are bare from being stripped of leaves or harsh conditions. But the sauropods are also limited in their choice of what they can eat, depending on how big or small they are. The Titanic Dreadnoughtus can feed comfortably on the conifers and other tall trees that are within reach of its long neck. The smaller Brachiosaurus can still feed on the same vegetation, but at lower levels. While the Europasaurus and dwarf Apatosaurus are restricted to eating low-growing plants, as well as shrubs and small trees. Fruits, berries, and more importantly, seeds that pass through the digestive tract mostly unchanged can grow away from their parents, and are already pre-fertilized by the dung of what ate them. Stegosaurs and Ankylosaurs are restricted to eating low-growing vegetation, such as ferns, grasses, cycads, tree saplings, horsetails, and flowers. Ceratopsids like Triceratops, however, can push down shrubs and small trees to gain access to the leaves growing on the top. Pachycephalosaurus, Gallimimus, and Oviraptorids, on the other hand, aren't restricted to eating only plants, as it's thought they're omnivorous, so they can also eat meat with their vegetables on occasion. Even the other herbivores will occasionally supplement their diet with meat to acquire the nutrients they wouldn't get from just eating plants. Even the various soils and clays that absorb toxins can also have nutrients the herbivores wouldn't get from plants. But eating the wrong soils and clays could result in malnutrition. The herbivores are also restricted by their teeth and how the design of their teeth can process certain types of plants. The giant sauropods like Dreadnoughtus, however, can also shape the very environment in which they live by toppling trees too large to browse on, and just by searching for food. Any plants they don't eat that are in their path are trampled into the ground, making more room for faster growing plants, like grasses and flowers. The trampled logs of what they topple over are also rich in insects, which are readily eaten by other smaller plant eaters and small carnivorous dinosaurs like Eoraptor. Another animal that could be considered omnivorous is the scythe lizard, Therizinosaurus. This dinosaur is very bizarre looking indeed. Hands with claws up to 3 feet long, a small head on a long neck, and a pot belly for fermenting large amounts of vegetation. But it's also thought the claws in this dinosaur weren't just for defense against predators, or for pulling branches towards its mouth, but for also killing smaller prey. They certainly look like they can easily skewer through small animals, and it could have eaten them from its claws, like humans eating kebabs, but that remains speculative. Yet another omnivorous dinosaur is the Guibosaurus, a member of the sauropodomorphs that would give rise to the giant sauropods themselves. Only the head and neck of this dinosaur are unknown, so whether it was a carnivore, or a herbivore, or an omnivore is up for debate, until the complete skeleton with a skull is found. But it's most likely possible that it was omnivorous. So while plants seem to be on the short end of the stick in their relationship with plant-eating animals, they couldn't diversify without them, and pollinating insects. Just as much as there's a delicate balance between predator and prey, there's another more crucial one between plants and their predators.